Ethan Wilcox was born in 1952 on a dairy farm nestled in the outskirts of Texas. Surrounded by the quiet rhythm of rural life and the beauty of open fields, Ethan developed a deep, unshakable love for animals, especially those from the wild. While most expected him to take over the family farm, Ethan had other dreams. From a young age, he was drawn to the untamed, the exotic, and the extraordinary. His fascination with wildlife wasn't just a passing interest, it was a calling. Instead of choosing the predictable path, Ethan made a bold decision to dedicate his life to bringing the wonders of the animal kingdom to the public through the art of circus performance. It wasn't just about entertainment, it was about sharing a magical connection between humans and creatures rarely seen up close. This passion would shape his life in ways no one could have foreseen. In 1979, driven by his childhood passion and an unwavering belief in his dream, Ethan Wilcox took a bold leap. He borrowed money to purchase his very first elephant from an Indian trader. That single decision laid the cornerstone for what would become the Wilcox Brothers Circus, a traveling spectacle that would soon captivate audiences across the American South. Over the next 10 years, Ethan worked tirelessly to build his circus into a household name. He wasn't just the founder, he was the lifeblood of the entire operation. Ethan served as the ringmaster, the animal trainer, and the main performer, pouring his heart and soul into every show. His most famous act featured him commanding a massive Bengal tiger named Raja, a heart-pounding performance that left crowds breathless and earned him a reputation for bravery and showmanship. The Wilcox Brothers Circus became known as a country miracle, bringing awe and wonder to small rural towns where children and even adults had never seen animals like elephants, lions, or tigers up close. For many, the circus wasn't just entertainment. It was their first magical glimpse into the exotic world of wildlife. Ethan's dream had not only come true, but had grown into a traveling empire that blended danger, beauty, and heart-leaving unforgettable memories in its wake. On June 15, 1997, the Wilcox Brothers Circus rolled into the quiet town of Maple Creek for a special afternoon show dedicated to the local elementary school children. The tent was packed with excited young faces, all eager to witness the wonders of the wild brought to life before their eyes. But what began as a joyful event quickly turned into a horrifying tragedy. During the headline act, Ethan Wilcox stepped into the ring with his longtime companion, a powerful Bengal tiger named Raja. The two had performed together countless times without incident. But on this day, something went terribly wrong. Whether it was the sudden roar of the crowd, an unfamiliar scent in the air, or a shift in the animal's instincts, Raja suddenly turned violent. With terrifying speed, the tiger lunged at Ethan, knocked him to the ground and sank its teeth into his neck. Gasps and screams filled the tent as hundreds of children watched in shock. Ethan's son, 21-year-old Blake Wilcox, rushed to his father's aid, but the attack had already turned fatal. Raja dragged Ethan back toward the animal enclosure before handlers could intervene. The beloved circus founder died instantly from massive injuries. The tragedy left a deep scar not only on the Wilcox family, but on the entire community. What was meant to be a day of wonder ended in unthinkable loss, a reminder of the fine line between awe and danger in the world of wild animal performance. The death of Ethan Wilcox sent shockwaves across the United States, shaking both the circus world and the public at large. The tragedy became national news after a bystander's video of the horrific tiger attack was aired repeatedly on television and circulated widely in the media. Viewers were stunned by the raw footage and outrage quickly followed. Animal rights organizations swiftly condemned the use of wild animals in circuses, calling the incident a tragic yet avoidable consequence of outdated and dangerous entertainment practices. Public sentiment began to shift dramatically. Many schools and local governments that once welcomed the Wilcox Brothers Circus withdrew their support, refusing to allow future performances in their communities. In response to the uproar, authorities launched a comprehensive investigation into the circus's operations. What they uncovered only deepened the controversy. Inspectors found numerous violations, including substandard living conditions for the animals, expired or missing safety permits, and troubling signs that the training methods used may have involved physical coercion. The findings intensify criticism of the entire traveling animal circus industry and spark broader discussions about animal welfare regulation and ethics. For many, Ethan's death became a symbol of a broken system, one where spectacle had long taken precedence over safety and compassion. The tragedy didn't just end a life, it ignited a national reckoning about how wild animals are used for human entertainment. Ethan Wilcox is remembered as a man who deeply loved animals and dedicated his life to sharing that passion with the world. Yet, in his quest to bring awe and wonder to rural audiences, he paid the ultimate price. His tragic death exposed the high cost of maintaining the thrill and spectacle of wild animal performances, both in terms of human safety and animal welfare. Ethan's story reignited a national debate over the use of wild animals in entertainment. While many admired his dedication and showmanship, others questioned whether the emotional connection he had with his animals was enough to justify the risks involved. His death became a turning point in the conversation between artistic tradition and ethical responsibility. In the years that followed, several U.S. states passed legislation banning or strictly regulating circuses that used big cats, elephants, and other dangerous animals. The tragedy also led to reforms in safety standards and sparked new discussions in the entertainment industry about more humane alternatives. Today, Ethan Wilcox's story is frequently cited in training materials for animal performance safety and welfare across the country. His life and the painful lesson of his death continues to serve as a cautionary tale about the fine line between admiration and exploitation. While his dream may have been swallowed by tragedy, the legacy he left behind has helped shape a more thoughtful and compassionate approach to how we engage with the animal kingdom. Nathan Reed. 33 is a graphic designer from Vancouver now living in Sydney. On weekdays, he works with pixels and palettes. On weekends, he's chasing waves, hiking cliffs, or camping under the stars. A former college rugby player, Nathan's got the build to match his lifestyle: strong, steady, and always on the move. Nature isn't just a hobby for him, it's where he feels most alive. Now he's trading city life for 6 months of raw, open coast. With his longtime girlfriend, Emily, and their dog, Jasper, he's packed up a camper van and pointed it toward the remote beaches of Western Australia. No deadlines, no meetings, just the ocean, the wind and the road. It's not just a vacation, it's a reset, a chance to breathe deeper, live slower, and see the wild side of the country they've called home for years. This journey isn't about luxury, it's about freedom. And for Nathan, it's the perfect blend of simplicity and adventure, just him, Emily, Jasper, and miles of untouched shoreline waiting to be discovered. By week 6 of their road trip, Nathan, Emily, and Jasper rolled into Clearwater Bay, a place that felt almost unreal. The water was a sharp turquoise, clear enough to see the reef flickering below the surface. It was exactly the kind of place they'd been chasing: wild, beautiful, and buzzing with life. Emily had read about the bay's coral gardens and couldn't wait to dive in. Nathan, drawn by the promise of clean, powerful waves, had marked it on their map weeks earlier. They pulled into a beachside campsite where the air smelled like salt and sunscreen, and the buzz of wetsuits zipping up was everywhere. This wasn't just a quiet patch of sand. It was a hub for ocean lovers, surfers, waxing boards, divers checking gear, laughter coming from every direction. Before they'd even finished setting up their tent, a group of young travelers from Germany and New Zealand invited them to join an impromptu surf and dive session. No need to think twice. Nathan grabbed his board, Emily packed her snorkel. Jasper barked excitedly as they followed the group down to the water. What started as just another stop along the coast quickly turned into something more: a shared adventure, the kind that sticks. Clearwater Bay wasn't just a postcard perfect beach. It was alive, open, and full of the kind of energy that makes strangers feel like old friends. The morning of April 21st, 2025 began like a dream. The sun was out, the sky cloudless, and the ocean calm as glass. By 7 a.m., Nathan, Emily, Jasper, and a group of 8 friends were already on the sandboards in hand and spirits high. Jasper, full of energy, dashed from towel to towel, earning treats and belly rubs from amused tourists along the way. It felt like one of those perfect days until it wasn't. At 11:20 a.m., a marine wildlife observation team spotted something massive moving beneath the surface about 3 kilometers offshore, a great white shark larger than any they'd seen in months. They immediately radioed the beach patrol, but the response team was still minutes away. At that very moment, a tourist nearby launched a drone hoping to capture a panoramic video of the bay. The drone buzzed quietly above the beach, its camera scanning the shoreline and the shallows beyond, unaware of what it would soon record. Back on the beach, no one had any idea. The group left waxed boards and watched Emily adjust her snorkel mask. Nathan was stretching eyes on the horizon, already sizing up the next set of waves. The water looked inviting, safe, but danger, silent and unseen, was already closing in from the deep. At around 11:45 a.m., Nathan and 2 other men waded into chest-deep water, boards at their sides. The waves were steady, rolling in clean lines. As they floated and chatted about the swell direction, no one noticed the danger lurking just meters away. Unseen beneath the surface, the great white had crept closer to shore, silent and patient. It had been circling, waiting, and now it was within striking distance. Nathan drifted slightly ahead of the others, letting the water rise over his shoulders. Just as he turned toward the beach, he lifted a hand, waving at the drone hovering above, still filming. In that same frame, a massive dark shape surged upward. On the sand, Jasper had been staring at the drone, ears alert. Suddenly he let out a long, eerie howl, then bolted toward the water, barking wildly. The attack happened in seconds. The ocean erupted white spray mixed with a flash of red. The force of the impact knocked the 2 men nearby backward. Screams rang out from the beach. Nathan broke the surface once, gasping, his arms flailing, but he was pulled under before anyone could reach him. Then silence. Just the ripple of waves and the floating surfboard spinning slowly in the water. What had begun as a perfect day turned in an instant, violent, surreal, unforgettable. The screams from the water sent shockwaves through the campsite. People dropped what they were doing and sprinted toward the ocean, but it was already too late. All that remained was a wide dark red stain spreading across the waves and a shattered surfboard, its edge torn clean through. On the shore, Jasper howled non-stop, his cries sharp and haunting. Emily collapsed to her knees, screaming Nathan's name, her voice raw and breaking. The drone footage was chilling, clear, steady, and undeniable. Frame by frame, it showed the shark's full-speed attack, Nathan's final moment, and the chaos that followed. Authorities reviewed the video and confirmed the worst. Nathan had suffered at least 3 bites and had been dragged out to deeper water. His body was never seen again. For the next 48 hours, rescue boats and patrols combed the coastline and open sea, scanning every ripple, diving when possible. But there was nothing. No body, no trace, only silence. On April 23rd, after 2 full days, the search was officially called off. Nathan Reed was declared missing, presumed dead. What had begun as a dream trip had ended in horror. The beach at Clearwater Bay, once a place of joy and freedom, was now marked by loss and the echo of a dog's long, lonely howl. The attack sent shockwaves through the local community and beyond. In just hours, news of Nathan's death spread across Australia, marking the most serious shark attack at Clearwater Bay in the past 15 years. It reignited fears about ocean safety and added another name to a grim tally. Nathan was the 5th person killed in a string of 12 shark attacks along the Australian coast since the beginning of 2025. Authorities held back from releasing the drone footage, citing concerns for the emotional well-being of Nathan's family. Officials described it as deeply distressing and not suitable for public viewing. Still, whispers from inside the investigation began to circulate. According to one marine safety source, the shark captured on film appeared to be even larger than the great white that attacked a diver off Esperance just 2 months earlier, a specimen already considered record-breaking in size. Local beaches were temporarily closed and extra patrols were deployed, but the sense of security had been shattered. Surfers packed up early, tourists cancelled bookings. Even long-time residents admitted feeling uneasy. What had once been a paradise now carried a shadow. For Emily and Jasper, the loss was immeasurable. And for the Clearwater Bay community, the attack wasn't just a tragedy. It was a brutal reminder of nature's power and unpredictability carved permanently into memory. Nathan Reed's story is a powerful reminder of nature's beauty and its brutal unpredictability. An adventurous soul, Nathan lived life outdoors, chasing waves and wilderness, with his partner Emily and their loyal dog Jasper. But one perfect morning at Clearwater Bay turned into tragedy when a great white shark struck without warning, ending a life full of strength, kindness and spirit. This wasn't just an accident, it was a wake-up call. As shark attacks rise along Australia's coast, Nathan's story underscores the urgent need for better marine safety and awareness. Behind every headline is a person, a friend, a partner, a life cut short. We remember Nathan not for how he died, but for how he lived fully, fearlessly, and always close to the ocean he loved. Let his story be both a tribute and a warning. Nature gives everything but never promises safety.